Hello! I have no doubt in my mind that this is working, so I'll get right to it. First, we have formalities, and we all know how much new workers like those. But it's protocol, Alright. Welcome to Dead Zone Nightclub, where humans and humanoids alike of all ages can have fun and drink the night away. Okay, yeah, that needs to change. I'll talk with the boss to see if we can change that, because that was cringe as hell. Anyways, we need to go over the terms and service of this place. Again, something we all know workers love. And if it wasn't protocol, I would skip over it. But alas, here we go. As an employee of Dead Zone Nightclub, you are expected to respect other workers, especially the higher ups, the facility you work at. Uh, okay, you know what? I'll simplify it for you. Basically, don't do anything wrong, and if you have questions, ask the higher ups. Okay, now that second half may be rather difficult, seeing as we only opened like a week ago. And surprisingly, we have had an absolute flood of people come in ever since. Something that could even rival a biblical flood. Now, it's time to talk about the more interesting things. About this place. Have you heard of that one place that had the female robots that performed on stage? Oh, what was it called? I swear it went by the lines of like Ferdina's Anime Resort. I think that actually was the name. Can you confirm? Ah, thank you. And if you have, then I think you already know what this place will be like. Although we will have our own take on the whole facility with animatronics idea. But before we get to talking about what's expected, I'd like to congratulate you on being our first ever night guard. I don't have any party pops on me. Well, this is awkward. Well, anyway, your ride down to the club should be nearing its stop. So we'll pick up this conversation up when you get to the office. All right? Oh, and one last thing. Our cameras record all the time, from well before your shift to well after it ends. So we will see everything you do, excluding the bathrooms for privacy and legal reasons, and the guard supplies closet in the backstage. We want to ensure that whatever happens during the night, we know what's happening and what we will need to do afterwards. We're not brain dead, unlike fucking Fazbear Entertainment Company, who just sweeps the deaths of all of their guards under the rug and plays it cool and safe. Sorry, had to vent there. Ah, okay. Seems like this is your stop. We'll talk more at the office. Sound good? Alright, man. Talk to you later.
Okay.
Hey, there you are. Remember, cams record everything. Anywho, let's talk about how this will play out. Let's talk about your workspaces first. And yes, places. The office is divided into three areas: the main office, the observatory, and the scanner room. The main office holds the overall controls for the office, as well as a few terminals to oversee the status of said nightclub. From here, you can see the statuses of the individual rooms, see the overall status of the ladies, and control key parts of the facility, like emergency shutdown, power restoration, and camera repair, which we will cover those parts when we talk about the ladies. The observatory has a terminal that can control the speakers around the club, as well as serving to be a place where you can relax, even see some ghost leviathans swimming about. You will have to come here now and then to ensure the ghosts don't bump into the club and knock it about, possibly even making breaks in the walls. But if this should happen, a repair tool and other maintenance tools can be found in the observatory as well. Finally, the scanner room holds your cameras for observation, both in and out of the club. Use this place to watch over the girls and watch for any damage on the outside of the club. Now, as you've heard several times already, the ladies are certainly present, and they are certainly will be roaming around the place. But why tell you about them when you can follow along? Head to the scammer room now and look at the show stage cam. Alright, these are the three main performers of the club, and as you can see, they are inspired by the Leviathans of planet 4546b. You have Siren in the center, the Ghost Leviathan. Blaze would be on Siren's right, the Sea Dragon, and Cassandra on Siren's left, the Chelicerate Leviathan. As you can likely guess, if you have heard of the one convention, they act similar to Ferdina and her girls. But they have their own little quirks as well. But we will cover those when we've covered them all. Now, swap to the arcade. This room is Blizzard's home. And if you've been to the ice caps of 4546b, you'd immediately know that she is inspired by the ice worms. She is the partier and likely the one who will look for you the most, with Blaze taking second place. Now, to the dance floor. This is the room with Gloria, who is inspired by the Sea Emperor, or Empress in this case. She is likely to be your favorite just from her loving nature alone. She does some cleaning of the place during the night, likely because she feels that our janitors should have some help, but I'm certain if you join her with cleaning tonight, oh, she will definitely have a soft spot for you. Now, the pools. First with the adult one. Well, it would seem Clara has taken a liking to her own beach chairs. Well, we got them for that reason. I guess we shouldn't deprive her of that. I have no doubt you know what the inspiration for Clara is, but if you're actually stupid, she is inspired by the Reaper Leviathan, the most notorious Leviathan of the sea. Or most loved. It all depends on who you ask. She is the most casual of the crew, and if tomboys are your thing, oh, then she fills that role perfectly. Now, let's swap over to the kids' pool. Finally, the Mangle to the Foxy. We have Umbra, who is inspired by the Shadow Leviathan. You know, if her name wasn't obvious enough. Now, the remark I made introducing her was no joke. She is the softest of them all, and another of the most loved. Now, unlike Mangle, she can show some thorns on her, although for now that simply seems to be a redundant addition to her coding. You can leave the cams now, because we are going to talk about the behaviors of all seven. Alright, lightning fast explanation time. Blaze and Clara come from the left, Cassandra and Umbra come from the right, assuming they feel like paying you a visit, but you can always pay them a visit first. Siren likes to stick around the stage, dining room, arcade, and kitchen. Blizzard, like an iceworm, travels almost purely through the vents. Gloria rarely ever leaves her room unless it's for cleaning up the club. Pretty straightforward, right? Well, we have some things we need to address first. You see, the boss wanted them to be hyper-realistic, he called. Which, by what he described it as, was basically they're the closest thing you could ever make a robot to a living biological life form. The only thing that sets them apart from living organisms are their necessities of living, which are basically a charge to their ion power cells, which is like once a year, I think he said. Now, they can't eat, and even will extract the energy from food to charge them. So, theoretically, they can last forever. Now, since they are hyper realistic, they have memories, personalities, feelings, basically everything a person has. So, this is just a tip, but treat them very nicely. Yeah, about this hyper realistic addition to them. Well, the boss was rather inspired by some YouTuber he watches from time to time. I can never remember his name. I swear the first few letters was Mair something. Something. All I know is that the boss told me that he did visual novels, and this inspiration was even after one of those said visual novels. So, anyway, that's the whole inspiration for the hyper realistic edition. So, hey, now you have context. Lastly, we had a recent protocol added to the ladies, which we will have to test tonight. We call this little mode feral mode, which basically simulates the natural behavior of actual leviathans the girls are inspired by. This means they will be hostile, they will act the same way as their leviathan inspirations, and they will no doubt kill you. We will warn you ahead of time that we will be doing it and will only start it when you are at the entrance of the club, where the ladies are not programmed to ever go. We will do this at the final 10 minutes of your shift, so you have quite some time before we must do it. When the feral mode starts, make as little noise as possible, because Clara will be able to hear you from all the way on the other side of the club when it starts. Now, you may also hear Clara roar from time to time, and yes, if you hear her, she can see you. But we also have the front desk at the entrance that you can hide behind. Alright, that is everything we need to cover done. Before I go, do you have any questions? If that's the case, I'll be ending the call here. Enjoy your time here, stay safe, treat the girls well, and we'll see you next time.
emergency power only. Power restored. All primary systems online.
Hey man, listen. We need to test out the Pharaoh mode now. and I'm certain neither of us want you to end up hurt now. Head over to the entrance ASAP, and we'll get it down and out, quickly. If you bump into any of the girls, tell them what's happening and continue on. Got it? Alright. Okay, there you are. You know what to do, right? Okay. If that's the case, then here we go. Begin pheromone testing in dry.
Warning, emergency power only. Power restored. All primary systems online.